Broadcasting live from the Business Radio X studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for Atlanta Business Radio, spotlighting the city's best businesses and the people who lead them.
Lee Cantor here with Stone Payton, another episode of Atlanta Business Radio. And Stone, this is a very special one, isn't it?
Hey, man, I've been looking so forward to this for weeks. It is now my distinct pleasure to welcome back to the Business Radio X microphone two of our best friends. They are with the Small Business Development Center at Georgia State University, Paul Wilson and Telisha Farrow. How are you?
Doing well.
Hi, how are you?
Doing great. We are so delighted to have you. I want to hear this from both of your perspectives, but we'll start with you, Paul. Mission, purpose of this organization. What are you guys out there trying to do for folks?
We're focused on economic development for really all Georgians, but specifically through small business owners and entrepreneurs, and helping them with no direct cost consulting services, which in plain language, it means free.
But you know, right there, I don't think a lot of people know that.
They don't. Yeah, I would say we're one of the best kept secrets here in Atlanta as
we're
it
going
relates
to change
to small
all that,
business
right?
development. That's the goal, right? Absolutely.
The funny thing is they sometimes don't want free. They feel as though free is devalued.
Right. Sometimes free means has no value.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So then that's kind of a tricky road to kind of navigate. So the Small Business Development Center is it through colleges? Like, how does it work? Because the name of it is through the University of Georgia, but we met Telisha through Georgia State University.
Correct.
It gets a little confusing on how to even find you.
It is. So
We're
we are
everywhere.
everywhere. That's right. We do have 17 locations in the state of Georgia.
But are they affiliated with universities typically?
Yes. So they're affiliated mainly, let's say, with University of Georgia. That's kind of our headquarters, if you will. That's where our state office is. And then what UGA has done is partnered with other universities, including Georgia State, Kennesaw, Valdosta State, Clayton State, University of West Georgia, across the state. So that way they can have a broader presence around the entire state.
But the jewel in the crown, let's make no mistake about it, is the one at Georgia State University.
Well, it's better when other people toot your horn than you have to toot it for yourself. So I wanted to let you say that.
And we applaud when they do.
Absolutely. Definitely.
So now tell us a day in the life of the somebody with the SBDC.
Wow, that could be a long story.
Yes,
however,
it depends on who you're shadowing that day.
Right. So let's talk about a consultant first.
Okay.
Right. And so the consultants are the ones who work directly one-on-one with a small business owner. So those small business owners will come in, and let's say, again, you have to kind of call ahead or email ahead to get a meeting scheduled. But let's say you've done that part. So you contacted us, you emailed it, and you come in and sit with a consultant, and their job initially is to find out about your business, right? So you're going to tell them your story, really, as well as what are your goals and expectations and aspirations with that business, where you've been, where you're trying to go. And then that consultant now uses that information to start determining how they're going to help that business owner grow over a period of time. And so fortunately, this is not just a one meeting session. Really, we help small business owners through the life cycle of a business. And so a consultant may see 3 or 4 businesses a day, as well as doing other types of work on behalf of that small business, whether it be research, whether it be looking for other resources, whether it be connecting them with other organizations at times from that standpoint. But the ultimate goal is, over a period of time, how to help that business grow from wherever they are today to wherever they want to be in the future. Specifically, think about their revenues, their employees, getting more customers. And so those are the tangible things that consultant is looking to help that business owner with.
Now, what stage should the company be at to have a conversation? Is this something where I have an idea for a business? Should I contact you? Or I want to get a business loan. Should I contact you? Or I'm got to lay off 10 people. Am I in crisis? That's why I'm calling you. I have an idea. I don't know what to do. That's why I'm calling you. Or I'm growing. Like, what's the kind of the impetus?
The easy answer is probably all of the above. Because we help businesses who are, we say, pre-venture. And in that case, we describe them as someone who has a business idea and are close to getting started. They just need help with that final push, right? Whether it be going and getting registered with the Secretary of State, getting their business plan in place, or anything else that they need to actually get started. Mm-hmm. And we help. And then from there, all the way up through someone who's already in business, maybe 1 or 2 years, and you're a solo entrepreneur, or you've been in business 3 to 5 years, and maybe you got 1 or 2 employees now, all the way up to professionally managed. As a matter of fact, today I had a meeting with a company that has 50 employees.
Right.
Right. And so we help everyone in between. And so we can help with general things where, in terms of marketing and HR and strategic planning, all the way up to, especially when you're a larger business, there could be some very specific things that you need, whether it be helping with organizational structure or helping executives communicate with one another better. So we cover a wide range of needs for small business owners, but not only from a consulting standpoint, we also actually have training programs that we offer that cover a lot of different topics too. I don't know if Telisha, you want to touch on some of that in terms of some of our classes that we actually offer.
Correct. So to answer and to add to his answer of your question is our sweet spot are businesses that want to grow, period.
Right.
That's who we're here to service the needs of. And so we do have training programs. So a day in the life, if you were to follow me, would look very differently than Paul's day.
Right.
But offering as their program coordinator, I do focus a lot on the business needs of what they're looking for,
like from an education standpoint, or
continuing education standpoint.
And what's an example of some of the education that you offer?
So we offer writing a business plan. So like you said, if someone comes in and says, I have an idea.
Right.
And we're like, great.
It's going to be great.
Let's get you in this.
My friend said it's the best idea they've ever heard.
Right. Let's write that down.
Right.
So we want to, get it outlined and let's put pen, to paper and write it out. So we have classes on writing a business plan. And then once, if you've gotten your business plan, now say that you have registered and we've provided that resource and you've gone and you've determined how you want to structure your business. Now you're ready to start. What do I do? Now what do I do? So we have a starting a business class. And so starting a business classes walks you through the process. Once you're past the writing a business, now what do I do? Additionally, we have marketing classes. We have 8A certification, government contracting, strategic planning. We have QuickBooks. We've offered QuickBooks for a dive. I mean, it could go on and on. We've had women's conferences or business training specifically for minorities, for veterans. We've had training on those. So it can go on, and it's constantly being created.
Absolutely.
Depending on the needs of our
Right.
client.
So you're listening to the client and
Correct.
and then you're building the training around whatever they desire, really.
Absolutely.
Now, are you industry agnostic, or is this something that, we focus mainly on technology, or we focus mainly on manufacturing, or is it kind of anything goes here?
Pretty much anything goes, as long as it's legal,
Right.
For one.
So not everything.
And everyone take a pause.
Right. I'm just
On
let your brain wander. what might not be legal.
Well, some things are legal nowadays.
Well, that is true, and that's
That
now,
weren't legal 20 years ago.
Exactly.
And so there are some businesses that are legal, but we wouldn't be allowed to, based on SBA regulations. And if anybody wants to know what those are, they can contact us.
And those things that make Paul uncomfortable.
Right, exactly. So we won't talk about those. But pretty much 99% of every other business that's out there, again, from a service business, technology, manufacturing, restaurants, I got a company that sells stationery. I mean, so anything pretty much you can think of as a business, we can assist you. And not just GSU, of course, we want to, of course, highlight GSU and what we do there. But if we don't have the expertise in-house, we can reach out to any of our other partners in the other locations and pull in expertise, from those other offices. Also.
Right. So like if you're talking to somebody at GSU and you have a specific need that maybe none of the consultants have, you can tap the network, and there's somebody's done this. No one's kind of going into uncharted territory. It's usually somebody at least associated with what they're doing. You might be able to find a resource that's helpful.
Absolutely. And there's probably close to 50 or so consultants across the entire state. So that's how broad our network is. And I'll tie that back in a little bit. We talked about earlier, some people have the misconception of free. Well, the value in terms of the consultants that are hired, all required to have an MBA. And this is our full-time job. So,
in Georgia.
In Georgia, in the state of Georgia, right? Because SBDC network is actually throughout the United States. So, but in Georgia, they're required to have an MBA up until now. So the value of the resources that you're getting from those consultants. Many of them have been business owners themselves, and some of them actually are still business owners. Others have worked in, let's say, corporations. And so there's a lot of wealth of experience.
And contacts.
Absolutely, from that standpoint.
And this is one of the things, it may seem like it's free, but it's not really free. Like the taxpayer's paying for this. Like
exactly. I call it prepaid. It's not free, it's prepaid.
Right. You've written this check. You've already written this check.
So you might as well go benefit from it.
Endorse it.
Let's cash that in now.
Exactly.
And then, and you can help, you mentioned like market research. If I'm thinking of, hey, I wonder if Georgia has, people that are farmers. Mm-hmm. I can go there and go, how many farmers are there? Or do you have a list of farmers? And you might be able to help me, right?
You're absolutely right. We have access, because we're connected to the university system, to several databases that can do just exactly what you said, whether it be by industry, by geography, by type of business, size of business even, whether it be employees or revenues. And we absolutely can extract a list of businesses, as well as the other piece of that, right, is demographics. So if you're selling to consumers, right, and you want to know consumer behavior or the types of people who actually live in a certain area,
right,
our databases absolutely can.
Like yesterday, we talked to the guy when we were doing the on-site broadcast yesterday over in Savannah, and we got to talking about, boy, we think we'd really love to have a studio in Savannah. Mm-hmm. Sounds like a cool idea. But everything I know about the Savannah market, you could stick in your eye and still see out, right? So we could reach out to you guys.
We love you, Savannah.
Thank you, Savannah.
But you could help us figure that out, right? You could say, look, here's the demographic there. There's what the business climate is like. Yes, Stone, it looks like this would be a great environment for a Business Radio X studio, or, nah, maybe not, right?
Yes. Yeah, you're exactly right. And you make a good point, too, that although we're in Georgia, we have still access to data across the country, right? Because you may be a Georgia-based business, but you may not just want to do business in Georgia.
Correct.
So we can.
So I can ask you about Cincinnati.
Absolutely.
Oh man,
absolutely.
What about a lot of firms may aspire to one day be international firms? Mm-hmm. Can you help a company that's thinking about going international kind of put things in place to go international? Is that a part of the service too, or is that?
Absolutely. Me too.
Yeah, definitely. So we actually have a team that actually is,
great team.
They're 100% focused on helping domestic companies go international. So that's their expertise. They've been doing it, for a while, a lot of experience.
Because that's intimidating.
Absolutely.
Me, I find it very attractive, the idea.
Right.
It's a great conversation at a dinner party. But I got to tell you, it scares me a little bit to think about trying to do what we do and do it well on that side of the pond. But you've got people that they know how to navigate this arena.
Because you can, a lot of twists and turns. I know you even live in a foreign country, so doing business elsewhere.
Just getting money to come back into this country is its own adventure.
Exactly.
But I will say, anytime that you need a traveling partner,
you're up for it.
More than willing.
That's super
to go
service.
Explore, right?
On behalf of the UGA. SBDC.
I'm not sure if you do. We'll talk about that.
Well, now I'm thinking, you know what? Forget about Savannah. What about Greece?
Absolutely.
Think big, exactly. We want you to dream big. We want to inspire
Grand
you, right?
Scale.
The GNC Business Radio X Studio. Talisha and Stone will research that.
Exactly.
So now, if somebody wanted to reach out to you and get a hold of you to have, what's the, usually point of entry? Is it they go on the website? How do they start making contact to see if they're comfortable having a relationship with you?
Well, some simple things. I can give some contact information for them to get in contact with us. And if I could do it, 404-413-7830.
And again, that's
404-413-7830. Or they can shoot us an email, right, to atlanta@georgiasbdc.org.
Again, that's
atlanta@georgiasbdc, as in Small Business Development Center.org, and put your request in there. And then you'll get a response, and then that'll start the process of getting you connected with a consultant.
And then a website for the SBDC?
GeorgiaSBDC.org.
And then they can go there and then drill down to GSUs?
Yes, and get to, you're probably going to look for either GSU or look for Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. It'll have all of the centers.
Right. Whatever's closest to you.
Right. And it'll also have a list of all of the consultants, the offices, who's in what office.
Right.
what they look like,
and what their background,
Most of
some of their
background.
Right, background.
Those of us that
Background
are
expertise. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
All that.
And Lee, we don't always get to work directly with all of the guests that come through the studio, but we have had the pleasure of actually taking full advantage of this resource. These guys have been working with us directly. I think it's been a marvelous experience. For me, it's really helped me sort of solidify my thinking about that little bitty pile of things I think I really do have a good handle on and know, and how to at least begin to articulate all the things I don't know and want to know more about.
Yeah, I think let's kind of maybe tell the backstory on this. We started with Telisha. We met you when we're doing our work at GSU Entrepreneurs.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And then
How could you forget?
I don't know how we could forget.
We've got to work on his memory.
So we met you. You got to talk about the SBDC and your work there, and the impact that you were making there. And you had just started, right? Or you were pretty new at that
you guys
point.
got me. We got to go back and fact check some of the stuff.
But you had a vision, and you were trying to explain to the young people there about how it can work and how they can benefit from the relationship, and that's a great idea to get them young,
Correct.
so they don't have to unlearn a lot of things.
Exactly.
Let's get it right from the
Exactly.
beginning.
Train you well.
And then you were kind enough to introduce us to Paul, and then we started working with Paul a few months ago, and we've been able to kind of put together, I guess, a more formalized, it is an official business plan, but at least it's the elements of a business plan that we had
Strategic
done.
plan.
A strategic plan that we had been kind of winging it on a day-by-day basis, and it's putting some structure and rigor around it.
And leading up to that, we just sat around and told each other how smart we were, right? And,
that got us only so far.
Exactly. But no, that's really helpful when you have that someone to bring that third-party objectivity. And it's not like Paul has been trying to superimpose his belief system or he's just really good at helping you explore the questions behind all of these critical issues. I have found it incredibly helpful, and I feel like every time we get together, I feel like we're making forward progress on this stuff.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And now, Paul, from your standpoint, you work with a lot of businesses.
Yeah, how bad are we?
I was going to say, Paul,
I don't want to say it
why
on the
don't you
mic.
talk about how many times have you actually had to tell someone their idea was not that great?
It happens.
Well, I'm sure.
Fortunately, in this case, I did not have to
Exactly.
do that. Right.
But we don't have to get into the nitty gritty of us.
Right.
But in terms of how you're working with us, is that similar how you work with other clients?
Absolutely.
Like the process we're going through, a lot of whiteboarding, a lot of asking hard questions, and asking us, difficult questions in terms of, have you thought of this? What's the numbers here? If this is more, why are you not focusing on this rather than this? Like kind of holding us accountable to some of the actions we've taken.
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the most significant things we do is ask hard questions. And we don't intend for them to be hard, but sometimes it's hard for the business owner to answer them.
Right.
Either if they haven't thought about them or maybe thought about them enough.
Right.
And so our job is not necessarily to give answers, but sometimes we're collaboratively come up with answers. But also, of course, if we're able to pull information or data or things like that or best practices and present them to you as a business owner, that's one of the things we want to do. So our focus is on education. So how do we put tools in your hands, right, to be a more effective business owner? And in some cases, if it takes, whiteboarding sessions, we'll do that. If other cases it takes, getting a lot of data and reports and kind of digging through them and looking for trends, we'll do that. Fortunately, it's not a cookie cutter approach, so that we don't tell you, okay, it's 3 steps, 1, 2, 3. Now
And then you're done.
Take
and
2 and
see
call
ya,
us in the morning. Yeah.
Thanks, bye.
Absolutely. It's not really on a case-by-case basis as you're working with your consultant to really identify, okay, what's our problem? What's some potential solutions? And then what's actually the path to get there? I think that's what's unique about us as an organization. We can stay with you through different life cycles of your business. And it's not just 1 or 2 meetings and you're gone, but literally you can be with us 5, 10, 15 years, depending on, what you need next in terms of growth strategies and tactics.
Well, so I'll tell you what I like about that. And there's so much that I like about it, but one of the most valuable outcomes of this whole experience for me so far has been getting to choose some things that I'm not going to invest any mental energy in for now.
Right.
And I may very well pick it up next year. It's one of the biggest challenges, maybe in a lot of businesses.
Sure.
But I know for me personally and in our business, there are so many different ways we could help people and make money.
Yes.
Right.
But going through that process with Lee and I in the room with you facilitating that conversation, I was able to take weight off and set it over here so that we could focus where Lee and I together decided we wanted to focus, right?
Right. Prioritizing and putting all the energy into kind of the biggest goal rather than a little bit of energy into 10 goals.
Right.
And Paul, would you say that it has to do with your client, the personalities, that goes into your strategy as well, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Dealing with their personality, their issues, their challenges. Yeah. And then also that fear, right? I haven't been a small business owner myself. I know you're a small business owner, of what to say no to. Because the fear sometimes, if I say no to this, I'm going to be losing money.
Yeah.
Right. But I like how you just put it, Lee, Stone, in terms of, if you spread your energy out too far, nothing will be excellent, right? Or nothing will be fully productive. And so, so sometimes it takes someone from the outside to help you look at, say, okay, we can't do these 10 things right now, but let's do these 3, do them really well.
Right.
Do it really profitably. And then as we grow, okay, doesn't mean we can't do the other ones. It's just in the timing.
Lee and Stone, we call Paul the professor.
Really? I did not know that.
Homework.
Now we'll call him.
I do like homework. I will give you some homework.
Yeah, that's true.
So now, the person out there that's on the fence about this, like, what's a reason that they don't do it? Do they not feel that it's of value? Do they not want to kind of dig in there a little bit? Like, what is a typical reason a person wouldn't take advantage of this valuable opportunity?
I think one of the reasons, we benefit from it in terms of being connected to the university, but I think that also intimidates some people because they may think that we're just here from an academic standpoint, or we're trying to get them to go through a program. You got to take all these classes, right? So I think it's just some misunderstanding about who we are and what we do, and that no matter what size of your business, although we're associated with the university, we're really focused on the community, and we very rarely
It's not
work with
an
students.
Academic exercise.
Exactly.
This is kind of a real rubber hits the road work that's being done here. Now, Stone, wouldn't it be great if there was a way to tell this story on a regular basis so people had a deeper understanding about how all of this can work and they can benefit from it?
But what would that look like, Lee?
Drum roll, please. Drum roll, please.
What a great idea.
No, you guys have some very specific designs. Let's just let the cat out of the bag. You guys are going to do a show on a regular rhythm. And it was kind of born out of this burgeoning relationship.
Absolutely.
So, tell our listening audience about it, the show, the format, the mission, purpose. Yeah.
Definitely. So we're going to launch a show in October called Small Business Fuel.
Sweet.
And the whole goal, right, is about inspiring, but not just inspiring, because you can go to a lot of places and get inspired, right? So we don't just inspire, but we want to kind of take a little bit of what's happening in our consultation sessions, right? And in our classroom training and bring it to this format. Right. And so we can have these conversations, I say not communications, but conversations in this type of setting so that people are inspired, they're educated, they're equipped. And really, again, our target is the business owners, but the people we're going to bring in the room, right, are going to be people who are going to be resources for business owners. Right. And different business organizations, but also things like CPAs. So what do you need to know about accounting? Right, related to your business. Lawyers, what do you need to know about the legal side? And then some other key business leaders, like those who are involved in economic development for certain cities, like around Atlanta. So there's a lot of different types of resources for small business owners. But our goal, again, is to bring the resources, of course, to expose them more to what we do, but also to expose them to a lot of the other resources that are available to them, and then also that they really need to actually grow as a business owner.
So the show is going to be able to give kind of a 360 view of the SBDC ecosystem. When you plug into the SBDC, these are some of the resources you'll have access to. These are some of the business associations that you work with and partner with. And these are some of the companies that you've helped. And we'll spotlight them too, right?
Yes.
We're going to get their take on the good, the bad, the ugly of working with the SBDC and how it helped their business.
Absolutely.
Well, just the good, not the bad and the ugly. No, just right.
But that's true, because we want to be able to promote and tell the success stories.
Right, because there's so many of them.
So many.
And then this is one of the challenges that we find here at Business Radio X, is that the small to mid-sized business, nobody is clamoring to tell their story. Right. So you're giving them an opportunity to tell their story. and they're going to appreciate that.
Absolutely. And there are so many little thank yous that mean so much. And just how, when it's a small business, it's those little stepping stones or little nuggets that
make a difference. That they stick with it another 6 months, and that might make all the difference in the world. It's like we say here, like, the mouse has to get the cheese, right?
Right.
You got to occasionally get the cheese.
Wait a minute. Who moved the cheese?
The cheese is always moving, but that's why they got to get it.
Right, exactly.
So if it just giving them a chance to tell their story, that's getting the cheese for them. That's them getting a win. And now they have something they can explain to their family. They go, this is what I've been doing.
Exactly.
And then, how many times does the family not even understand what you're doing?
Right, absolutely.
My family still doesn't understand.
Right.
I stopped trying to explain.
Exactly.
But I think one of the keys of that too is, right, if we look at just the economy, right, over 90% of employees actually work for either a small or medium-sized business.
Right.
And so hearing from another small business owner that you can make it, you can succeed, go get some help.
Right.
SBDC is here to help. And like you said, we're opening our ecosystem to help you. So you could get help not just from us, but others that we're connected to.
And you would be surprised at who is deemed as a small business. A lot of times people
the
think,
government definition of a small business is different than what the guy in the corner thinks a small business is.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Absolutely.
But it's not just the mom and pop shops that are small businesses. I mean, you have franchises that are considered small businesses as well. And we have helped those.
Definitely.
And so it's a wonderful thing. And just even in the continuing education part, you're thinking about what else do I need? And we can set up classes or forums or, conferences for businesses within themselves to educate their employees.
Right. Just internal communications, because a lot of times that gets lost.
Right.
Absolutely. Just on how to send an email communications. That's going to be our next course. Laugh out loud.
Right.
So now Small Business Fuels, the name of the show. It's going to launch. Do you have a launch date?
Surely we do. Yeah. Does our producer know that launch date? First Wednesday in October. It's going to be the first and third, the way we're launching, first and third Wednesday of the month.
Yes.
First Wednesday in October, and it will air broadcast live at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Absolutely.
And then the ideal guests are anybody that's a resource to small business.
Absolutely.
Right? The business associations that are in town that want to serve small and mid-sized business, right? And entrepreneurs that have maybe gone through an SBDC program or thinking about doing it, that would make it a good guest as well.
Absolutely. All of the above. You just mentioned it. And again, our goal is exposure, right? So in terms of the resources that we'll bring in the room, there could be a business owner who's never heard of the GMSDC, right? Or doesn't know to contact, the economic development officer for their local city,
there you
right?
go.
So, and then what can those people do for them from that standpoint? Another thing we like to say too is always go find free first, right?
Right.
Because there are a lot of free resources, right, that the business owner may not know about. And then when you get to the point where you need to pay for somebody, right, that may be what you need to do. And that would just be an investment. But again, our goal is how do we find as many resources as possible, including ourselves, of course, to help small business owners in a lot of different ways.
That's going to be fun. I'm going to produce when I can on that, because just imagine how much I can learn just being back here behind the board producing that show.
Absolutely.
And listening to the people from those different constituencies talk.
Definitely.
A lot of expertise in this room, everyone.
A lot of smart people.
Yeah.
So now, again, it's the first and third Wednesday, 1 o'clock.
At 1 p.m., yes. Mm-hmm. That's when we're broadcasting live. But look, this show's going to be up and this material is going to be available 24/7. Right. And we're going to do what we can to make sure people know where they can access that material.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Oh, definitely. We're going to be communicating it out. And
hey, Paul, when are you going to be here again?
We'll be here the first and third of every month.
Okay.
First and third Wednesday of every month.
Now, Telisha, are you going to do some hosting as well?
Absolutely.
When are you going to be here?
Absolutely. I'm going to be here
sing?
the first and third.
Only royalty-free music.
Remember that? I'll have to make up my own songs.
Right.
But you're going to
that won't be hard, trust me.
You're going to love hosting because you don't have to have any answers.
Right, exactly.
You see how
we can just
easy
ask
it is
questions,
for
right?
It's so easy.
It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier on that side of the table. On this side. It's more pressure over
let
here.
me just tell you, the host has come up with some pretty tough questions in the past.
That is true.
So now, if somebody wanted to learn more, what's the best way to connect with you? On LinkedIn or through the SBDC? What if somebody wants to be a guest?
Initially through the SBDC. So email, right, would be the first place. Of course, Atlanta @GeorgiaSBDC.org. or give us a call on the phone at 404-413-7830.
Good stuff. Well, thank you both for all the help you've given us here at Business Radio X, and we look so forward to Small Business Fuel on the first and third Wednesdays of the month.
Absolutely. Thank you. We're excited.
Zoom.
All right. We will see you all next time on Atlanta Business Radio.